Testament we have prophecies. Yay! More prophecies about Jesus when he first came into the world. And then of course we have prophecies about how Jesus would re-enter the world the second time. But the first time Jesus entered the world, the prophecy was said in Genesis chapter 3 and chapter chapter 49 of Genesis, in verse 10, when it talks about that Judah would always have a king, and that prophecy came true. That Judah was predicted, who was the son, of course, of Jacob, that he would have kings to come from his household. Now, Jesus came from the line of Judah, we're told in the New Testament, and we have his lineage traced back. So the prophecies about Jesus coming into the world on the first occasion were shown in the Bible before Jesus even entered the world. Now, in Genesis 49 and verse 10, when it says, unto Shiloh shall the gathering of the people be, and that from Judah shall come the Messiah, or the Christ, or the Shiloh. And this Christ who was to come was to be a king. And the last king in Judah, of all the Israelites and the Jews, the very last king was Jesus. Because after Herod came Jesus. And after Jesus, there were no more kings. Never have been any more kings in Israel. The nation, the kingdom was divided between 4 governors. Pontius Pilate, Herod the Tetrarch, whatever, and Agrippa and such like. 4 governors. No kings, governors. But the point is, the Bible talks about Jesus being from the line of Judah, which is the same line which David was from. And of course Saul was the first king of Israel, and after Saul was God's choice, which was David. Now, in Genesis chapter 3, that's the first prophecies about Jesus. When it says that if they shall eat of the fruit of the tree of life and live forever. It's a prophecy about Jesus, because in Revelation 22 we read that Jesus is the tree of life, and that the tree of life is Christ, because he is also classed as called the righteous branch and the true vine in the New Testament, and in Jeremiah, the righteous branch. So the prophecies about Jesus have come true. That Jesus was predicted under the Old Testament more than 4,000 years ago, in the time of Moses. And before the revelation was given to Moses, which is 2,000 years or so before Jesus. And the prophecy went that this Jesus was to bruise the head of the serpent, and that the serpent was to bruise the heel in Genesis chapter 3. Jesus' heel was bruised when he had a nail put through it on the cross. But the head of Satan was destroyed, who is the old serpent, the liar from the beginning. So the next prophecies we look at are in Deuteronomy chapter 18. And in that prophecy it talks about there was to be somebody coming, a teacher coming, who was to be like Moses.